It's right there. I'll have that part plumbed in
Is there a
20
guy
minutes.
Playing the banjo on your front porch too?
You know Hoquiam well.
Yeah.
Is it Hoquiam or Hoquiam?
I call it Hoquiam a lot.
Hoquiam,
but it's Hoquiam. I think.
I'm gonna check the weather report.
Oh,
be careful! It's gonna be fucking miserable.
If you guys cancel because of weather,
we're pussies.
Yeah, you're East Side pussies.
No, I'll get wet.
Non-fender.
Put some fenders on.
East Side pussies.
See, if it's raining, you got to bring fenders.
No. Paul's not wearing fenders.
No. I'm just worried that I can't fucking ride 60 miles 3 times. That's all because I'm apparently the only one not riding.
This is Hey There. The Packfiller Podcast is about to begin. You can always follow the show through Instagram, Twitter, and even Facebook if you're still into that sort of thing. The show is streamed live every Tuesday at 6 o'clock Pacific on our Packfiller Productions YouTube channel, as well as on the Podbean app. You can call the show directly from Podbean and chat along in the discussion on both platforms. Now let's get to the Packfiller Podcast. He scratches up my bar, and his phone is not on silent.
You know how hard it was for me to not talk during that intro?
Before I start the podcast, let's throw a big thanks out to Gooder. If you're a member of Team Packfiller, you're already experiencing a 20% discount code. Hint! Not to mention, there's a pair coming in next month's subscriber swag bag. I had to say that slowly because next month's subscriber swag bag was what I was going to say. That's already the full price of membership, people, if you're doing the math. That's right. With the casquette, the discount, and the free pair, you're already in the black. Get over to Gooder.com. Check the constantly changing lineup of polarized, non-slip, performance-enhancing fun eyewear that will bring you into the season looking like a badass. All right? Also, big thanks to the other G in our sponsorships. Giant Bicycles. You guys, have you tried their shoes? I currently own a pair of the Surge Pros. Boa Fit. It just sounds like I'm saying Boba Fett. It just dawned on me. I wrote that, and I was just like, anyway, super stiff sole, great design, and all-day comfort. And I'm not saying that because they're a sponsor. Well, I am saying that because they're a sponsor. But I'm also saying that because I actually own the shoes and I wear them long periods of time. So check them out at giantbicycles.com. Jackson has the white ones, which automatically makes him cooler than me, but oh well. This is the way my pale legs aren't that visible. So, shall we do this? Let's do this! More music! This is really hot. This might be the end of my computer. It might cook tonight. Honey? Can I get, please? Yeah. Hey, it's Monday. The piano sounds like a carnival and my microphone smells like a beer. It's Monday. Welcome to the Packfiller. I am Pat Bulger. And you know what? I had all this introduction written, and then Jack showed up. I seriously did not write you into the intro.
Perfect.
Because you didn't tell me you were coming.
Well, until 5:30, I probably wasn't.
With me are the OGs of the Packfiller. Well, since we went weekly over 2 years ago, that is. The only mortal I know who would likely be in the market for a 5611, Mr. Paul Main.
That's me.
Yeah.
I thought you had a 10.
That's what it climbs in, man.
Yeah.
Second of all, the only guy I know who would never use a 5611, Mr. Jackson Bulger. Hello? Theme is really hot tonight. Was it me or is it just really fucking loud?
What?
I'm screaming into my microphone. And I was going to go straight to me, but I got to find something about a 5611 to include Jack.
Never owned one.
Third, the only guy who's not only never owned a 5611, but can't find it because his bike isn't compatible anymore. Mr. Jack Broadhead, how are you, man?
Did I make a 56? I got 11. I have an 11.
56?
I'm good. I don't have a 56.
Have you ever used the 11?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Me, I'm the guy whose knees already sound like I own that gear. Hey, everybody, welcome to the podcast. Oh, we are live on Podbean. We are live on YouTube. Am I forgetting anything? I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Jack, you keep looking around. You're freaking me out.
I forgot about this place.
Because it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, let's get straight to it.
It's the orange bar tape. It's disturbing.
You don't like it?
It matches really well, and I've had orange bar tape on an orange bike, so I can't say that. But that was like 12 years ago.
Was that when you were a junior
Bonotto.
and it was striped?
Who's Bonotto?
No, it was on a soft ride, believe it. It was on a soft ride. I had a soft ride painted Eddie Merckx orange with the blue panel and the yellow writing, custom painted. That's how much I liked it.
It's a good thing Eddie's still alive because that would have
It would have made him roll.
I know. A soft ride. Was it the soft ride with this the frame actually curved down?
Yes, it was not. It was the aluminum curved frame, not the wing.
Did you feel cool about that?
I had a wing bike, but this was the next year. I just wanted something different.
Did you feel cool on that bike?
Never.
Oh, okay.
Never.
Okay. Good. Just so we got that out of the way.
I had an orange flight saddle to go with the orange bar tape and the orange saddle.
God, no wonder you quit racing after that.
Paul doesn't even like my orange tape.
I know.
Paul, no. Actually, a lot of people are supporting my orange tape.
Yeah.
You know, they like Jackson's nodding. He supports.
I love it.
It's cool. It'd be great on a cross bike or something. I don't know. That's cool.
Hey everybody, how's the bike riding going this week? How's the past week, 7 days in bike rides gone? I guess we'll start with Jack because
I already said absolutely horrible.
Center of fucking attention tonight, apparently. So,
Well,
yeah.
I'm just here to defend myself.
We didn't bash on you last week,
A little bit.
did we?
Yeah.
What did we say about you last week?
Something about talking during the intro, and I don't know.
That was about it.
Yeah, that's about it. Somewhere deep inside that, towards the end.
In your inability to remain focused?
I was very probably.
How's your ride week been, Jack?
Great.
That's why he bought a quart of beer.
Did you ride this week?
Not once.
Uh-oh.
I'm so fucked.
Yeah, and you're hosting the training
And I'm
camp
hosting
next week.
but I'll be like Calvin out there with a hot tea with honey in it. Yep. I'll be driving.
Jackson's doing it too.
I'll be.
Holy shit!
I know. All right. Yeah, got to rub the thorax. He had a thorax. He didn't have a sternum.
No.
For those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, look up Calvin Jones.
Hopefully he's
Park
listening
Tools.
to this.
Calvin Jones, Park Tools. The guy is a genius mechanic. He was our coach for many years back in the day, and he was basically like you would imagine those old Looney Tunes cartoons where the skeletons are dancing at night, you know.
Or like, you know, like some figurine you put on top of your pencil eraser when you're a kid. Like the whole pencil is his body, and then there's a head. And he's got a body that very few people get.
Yeah.
From God. But we love him.
Paul, how's your ride week been?
Well, just got one with you. Saturday we had a windstorm blow in.
Yeah.
Or Sunday, excuse me.
Sunday we did, yeah.
So that kind of.
So you got one ride in this week.
Yeah. I'm riding tomorrow.
Oh, you got the day off.
Mm-hmm. My RDO. Public. I work for the public sector.
Very nice. Jackson Bulger, how'd your week go?
Good. I got 3 in last week. School is starting to go, oh, you're a senior? Well, here you go, and just slam me against the table. So, yeah, I'm trying to get in it as much as I can. But, yeah, the weather's been nice here. Trying to take advantage of it while I can.
I'm not pausing intentionally. I'm a little bit jealous because our weather is not. Actually, tomorrow's supposed to be in the 60s, so we're finally getting there. We're finally getting there. I got 2 rides in. That's it. One was indoors. I'm not gonna lie, and it wasn't
Doesn't
enjoyable.
count.
It doesn't count.
But last Friday, was that your
No.
long ride? Or was that 2 weeks ago?
That was 2 weeks ago, Friday.
I was impressed.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Jealous. Paul and I did a good ride on Saturday. Good ride, 7 Hills. Course to 7
thanks
Hills.
for inviting me. I was in town.
Were you?
Actually, I was so busy.
Jack.
I'm like, please don't text me. Please don't text me.
Jack, this is an intervention. It's over.
It's over.
just
It's
not
already
working
over.
out. It's not working out. I'm getting a little worried, however, and I gotta say this. And I'm not saying this. It is not a humble brag. It is not anything like that. But or it's to say that I just have sucked for so long. Our Seven Hills ride, I posted like 12 PRs, and it's not like you and I were going balls to the walls. We weren't going all out. My average speed, it's like, oh, your average speed's going up and all this kind of stuff, and I know that's good, but what if I'm doing too much too early? And this is how my brain works, you guys. I'm freaking out. I'm starting to think, shit, am I going to fuck this all up? Am I going to hate my bike in June?
The West Side's like 2 months ahead of you, so don't be thinking you're like.
No, I'm not thinking I'm going
mental
to be
burnout.
anybody.
You're
I'm just thinking,
mental burnout.
Am I too good for Pat for now for the growth pattern? Is what I'm saying.
Well, what's your objective? Where do you want to hit?
190 pounds and the front third of bike races.
You got a ways to go.
Keep
Don't
going.
worry.
You got a lot. You got a lot of. Wow.
Yeah.
Don't give up yet.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
Keep that target. Keep
Pace
going.
yourself.
Believe
Just
me,
pace
June
yourself.
will fly by. You will not be burned out by then.
All right.
You haven't even came close to peaking. We're just
Dude.
still building.
You rode 2 days last week. If you burn out by June,
Do you guys consistently now when you are in training mode, do you guys consistently how many days per week is the ideal and how many days per week is the actuality? Paul, I'm looking. I just need to
Okay.
look at
Well,
you,
I was going to let
yeah,
Jackson.
I'll let
Since we
Jackson.
Bogart.
Oh, okay,
the
Jackson. Do you have an ideal like? Okay, this is what I'd like to do, but this is what I'm really doing.
Not necessarily. I think I just kind of get as much as I can. If I could get like 4 days out of the 7, that'd be cool. But you know, what happens, happens. I'm at such a loose schedule at the moment that I kind of do what I can.
But
Things are
so
always a challenge.
like when you're in the midst of training.
Yeah. I have never really had a hardcore training block, I will
Yeah.
admit. So I think that I kind of have always just been, because of age, that helps, been under the assumption that if I just ride a lot, that'll help.
Yeah.
So I just try and ride as much as I can. Christ, if I could do 7 days, I'd do 7 days. But whatever presents me, I'll take.
Okay, Paul.
I've
This is I seriously mean these questions
Yeah.
because I am like I keep thinking I'm supposed to be doing like 5-6 days a week, you know, super hardcore, focused.
You're too old
It's
for that.
March.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
too
way
old.
too
I'm
old.
apparently too old for that. Really?
Yeah,
Yep.
Your whoop will say you need to recover, and that was
regardless of
yeah.
regardless of drinking.
Yes. For me, it's I've done 7 days for like 7 months straight, and that's when you crash. I mean, I was trying to gain every,
Yeah.
I had to. There was no rest day. I mean, even my rest day was like, okay, I'm only going to do 30 miles on Mondays and Fridays, but it was full gas.
Really?
Yeah, and I hit the
See, I'm
wall.
not doing
Huge.
that.
Why full gas? Is it
Because I
riding
was
with
young
people?
and stupid.
Oh.
Yeah. No, even a ride by myself. I just everything was.
Oh.
I wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
To me, it's like you just grind yourself down, and that's wrong.
As we get older, I learned this actually because I haven't
Speak for
been a
yourself. I'm
competitive-
29 years old.
I know, right? Still holding 29 and holding.
Yeah.
But I learned this a couple years ago running, and sorry to bring that into the equation, but
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah.
but at my age, recovery was more important, or equally as important as the workout I did that week. So I would have a very hard Tuesday, and I'd have a long Saturday or Sunday. But the rest was just like, you would think junk miles. You kind of think, oh, this isn't getting me anywhere. But the rest plus the extreme intensity added up to way more. I was really fit for following that schedule because I always got rest, but I always had the energy to do a really intense workout. So I think the sweet spot is 5 days a week, and with flexibility. Like, I mean, you have a job, you gotta today I can't go, so tomorrow, my rest day, I will go. But 5 days, I mean, it seems like 5 days a week is kind of a sweet spot of you get a family day, you get
Sure.
3 days of 4 days of pedaling around in one really intense day at our age, and it makes a big difference.
I am so antiquated, apparently, in everything I do with training because it's always been around a 5-day training week. I mean, I always take Mondays and Fridays as just blow-off days. Mm-hmm. I'm still into the Eddie B. Tuesday sprints, Wednesday distance, Thursday intervals, Saturday and Sunday, something substantial. Usually Sundays are kind of become a maybe, and they're kind of the family, not the family day, but my family's gone. Yeah. But, that kind of a thing. So I don't know. It's just, and I haven't tried to do anything very seriously competitive since probably, what was the year I did Leadville, Jackson? 2016?
Yep.
Yeah, that was the last year I really did serious training blocks. This year it's always just been kind of like, it's fine, I'll do some Twilight Series.
For me, it was like 1997, so I mean, I'm a little behind the curve here.
Speaking of events, has anybody signed up? Has anybody put their name on the dotted line for any events on the calendar? We made the promise that not this next show, but the show after. The show after the training camp in Hoquiam.
Okay.
Is when we all say the events we are putting ourselves on the line to do. Mm-hmm. Jack's giving a very distant look.
I'm looking for Paul for answers.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Well, we have
Tour de Loom.
Yes, and that's in September, so it gives you some time.
Jesus Christ!
And then
see, I was banking on time.
So even they're still playing with the River City Omnium that's here in town, but you can only do
Omnium. So that's three races in itself. You could just pick that.
Yeah, there you go. But you could just do the crit if you want. You don't have to do the road race.
Three? There are only two.
I don't know. I'm just
what? There's
only
three.
Two races.
No
TT.
Idea. See,
there's a TT.
There's a TT, a 6-mile TT, and it goes up like off of kind of out by Mojo's. By actually towards Liberty Lake, further out.
Really?
And it goes up a hill and then comes back down a hill. And then there's a road race, and then the last stage or Omnium. So you can do 1, 3, 2. Whatever.
Wow. That could be my 3.
That could
let you off
the one race, the one weekend.
Jackson and I announced earlier that we have not only committed, but we have put the money down. We are going to the Belgian Waffle Ride in July in Southern California, south of San Diego, from what I understand.
South of San Diego?
South of San Diego.
Is that Tijuana?
Yeah, it's pretty close. I think it is south. I don't know. It's near San Diego, right?
Yeah.
It's 138 miles. And from what I understand, they've tweaked the course, Jackson. So everything you and I are doing, searching online, could potentially be for naught because they're putting in new sections, I guess.
I can't remember. Was it Ted King or somebody did kind of a video of his...
Ted won it.
Right. Just thinking I watched that. And yeah, it was cool. Cool race. Very hilly.
Yeah. 12,000 feet of climbing.
It's minor.
I looked at my age groups.
That,
Jackson, I don't know about you, but I looked up my age groups, and I was like, holy shit, the top guys were finishing like 6.5, 7 hours. And then there was
139.
One guy at the tail end who finished in 12 hours.
Well, see... I don't want to look up my age group because
that's about 4.5 hours.
Yeah, they're going to be like, oh, this was a training day. We're going to go out and ride the course again. So I know that Ted King did it in 6 hours and 33 in 2019. So
shit,
we'll aim for that.
Yeah. Tell my story when you get back to your mom at the finish line. If I'm not there, because I won't probably be there at that same point in time. You and I need to decide how we're going to ride the race, because you and I have done these things where it's just been like, hey, we're the Team Bulger. Let's ride together. I seriously think if you're feeling awesome, you should just ditch the old man. I do. Seriously.
I would have.
I agree.
Yeah.
And would.
I ditch my wife all the time on races.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
ditch the old man.
Yeah. Here's another question. Would any of you guys? These are the things. Wow, everybody can hear you pouring that beer. Would any of you participate in an event? Because this is the stuff that pops into my head in the middle of the night, kind of a thing, that provided a course GPX file, which is basic. Well, Paul, I'm going to lose at this one.
I don't know what that is either.
It's a file that you basically, Jackson, thank you, that you download to your device, and it gives you turn-by-turn directions, right? If it gave you a GPX file...
Seattle to Portland, just go south. Just figure it out.
No, but here's what I'm saying. Is like let's say it was the Seven Hills course or something like that, and everybody might not know that course. Yeah. So if we were to send that out as a GPX file, everybody signs up for the race. You can do it within a specific time window, kind of similar to what some people have done in the past with Strava races and things like that, but more specific courses. Like you have to do this very course. You have to do it between noon and 6 on this day or something like that. I'm looking for alternative racing. Would you any of you guys, would that seem something viable or interesting to anybody within the sound of my voice? And you people online, you can chat in, because I'm also monitoring the YouTube feed.
Not only would I be interested in it, I think it's a great alternative for sure. And I also think that in a regular real life race scenario, I'd do that anyways, just because, like, let's say, like you said, you don't know the course. There's the vegan cyclist did the Belgian waffle ride, and he had that on his Wahoo so he could see the topography of it.
Yeah. So
he could see where the hills are coming and everything. And I could see that to be such a useful tool in like a real life situation, or in this situation where you're doing it by yourself. You see, oh, my computer's telling me there's a hill coming up. I might as well get ready. I think that'd be cool.
And yeah, I agree, especially because you have the topography of the course. That would be unbelievable. That's like a race director talking into your ear.
No more stickers on the top tube.
Yeah. Jack, Paul?
You're talking to a guy who doesn't even have a computer on his bike.
I understand.
No, I just don't like that. I don't, looking down.
Hey, you boys, best keep sweating out there. The more sweat, the better, boys.
I like that last bit.
Sounds creepy.
But, in a way, I do that when I've gone to races I'm not familiar with. I'll read whatever information, and then I'll make mental note at 40 kilometers into it. There's a hill. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But I function.
You wouldn't.
I write it in Sharpie on my...
You would, but would... You're never going to ride with a computer on your handlebars?
No,
on your
at this point.
No. I can't see. I have to wear glasses anyway. So
shit.
When that's your excuse, I can't see.
Yeah. That's just audible. Turn right.
So
I never learned to read.
At what point are we all going to have this screen in front of us like an iPhone that has the topography and a couple other characters?
You guys are old.
Couple other characters, and pretty much we take that thing outside.
And you're chasing somebody.
Chasing some ghost.
Zwift
on
portable
Seven Hills
Zwift
course.
Mm-hmm.
But when are we going to get there? Christ, we are there.
But you're starting
Listen to the
this.
child.
I missed that. What was that?
He said there's literally something out there where you can go, I want to ride this segment, and your computer will tell you, oh, you're this amount of time behind the person that you want to beat, or you're this amount of time ahead. Like, we're in that state right now. Like, the big Garmin computers are like the size of our phones.
Wow.
We're there, man.
We're already there?
Yeah. You should buy something.
I got 10 speed.
Yeah. So, basically, my genuine question, my genuine question, I got one legit answer, and I have two completely ignorant fucks in my studio right now.
I'm not ignorant. I'm just stupid. No, it's just that wouldn't appeal to me to look down for directions and stuff. I'd rather. I mean, it'd be just as easy for me to carry a map.
Yeah,
that's how I would do it. Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
I would ride with map. I don't.
Paper.
I never got off on on the computer on the thing. I don't want to
wish
know
I
my
could see
watch. I don't
Jackson.
want
I can't tell if Jackson's choking or giving up or what's going on. He's
There's
grabbing.
no hope for him.
Yeah.
No hope.
Yeah.
For Jackson.
No,
so
for me.
I think you need a big screen right there of Jackson.
I'll project
so we
you
can
over
see
my head, Jackson.
these
I gotta
reactions.
do that. Yeah, I gotta get a
because
separate monitor in here.
it would be way more fun knowing the look on his face. the
Actually, I
horror.
can probably project you
You-
into the monitor behind your head there. So
I'd
you
have to
guys
turn
have
around.
to turn.
I need a
around.
mirror. Can I wear a mirror off my hat?
Third eye?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Justin probably has one for you.
Yeah, he does. Shit. Jackson, please comment on this. I mean, well, you already did, right? So, in other words, I'm going to take your advice and I'm going to tell everybody else to chime in on it because I'm surrounded by stoning.
Antiquated pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Decrepit.
You know what I miss? Back when you wanted to change gears, you had to take your wheel off and flip it fucker around.
Oh, yes.
Bikes were so good when they were wooden.
Yeah, damn bikes were better when the rims,
Where the rims
wood.
were.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Jesus Christ. All
I
right.
like switching gears with my knees.
I
Back
used
when
to
they're
do
down
that,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, you could fucking just
Right in the
jam
middle
it
of a
down
sprint.
right? Just jam it down into your 12.
All right, you lost us, I guess.
Let's check the headlines, shall we? Some shit that happened within this century. Hey, everybody, in case you weren't paying attention, Adam Yates has crowned a historic win for Ineos Grenadiers at the Volta a Catalunya as the team secured the top 3 fucking places in a single stage race for the first time in Sky Ineos' 11-year history. 9th across the final finishing line in the Parc Montucci, or however you pronounce it, on Sunday. Yates finished 45 seconds ahead of teammates Richie Porte, who won in 2015, and Geraint Thomas in 3rd. So, gentlemen, anybody who's been paying attention to bicycle racing as of late, Jack, you watch this one?
Fuck no.
Nope, didn't watch it. All right, I planned this show and you weren't in it, apparently. Anybody on
Well,
the...
do you plan the show around my knowledge of what's going on?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because, well, I don't want you to look like
I
a
appreciate
dumbass.
it. Well,
He does a good enough job by himself.
Anybody on the thoughts on the performance of Ineos at this point in the season, this day in particular, and the fact that maybe I think personally they are the New York Yankees of cycling, where they pay whatever they pay, they get, and they just seem to
Everybody else
have
hates
unlimited
them.
pockets. Yeah. Jackson, you look like you're waiting to say something.
It's working for them. I think they're one of the more exciting teams. I think they're having a good time in both the classics, as we're seeing right now with Pidcock and the likes of the other teammates that he has around him. And apparently in World Tour racing, if they want to win a week-long stage race, they can take their 3 big riders and put them at the front of the race. It's pretty crazy, and I think that just because Chris Froome left doesn't mean that they are left hanging without a GC contender. So
No, not at all. Not at all. Shit, if anything, they've got the entire deck stacked. Unless they turn into a Movistar and just decide to not do anything.
Theo Gegenhardt either.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, exactly. Paul?
So, 3 people from the same team on a podium has been done before in World Tour
First time
races.
in the Sky
Yeah.
Ineos chain.
Yeah, but that was not on a stage race.
right. It was a
They've had smaller
Classic.
stage races that 3 team members have back in the 90s. I think it was. I'm trying to think what team it was.
It only happened twice.
Yeah,
I keep thinking of classics like Mapei.
yeah.
Or
Farm Fritz was another one when same
Yeah.
team, which is
or
now
gave
De
his,
Koenig.
gave his spell on back in the days with Moreno Argentine and Evgeny Berzin. I think
Jeeves.
Jeeves Gavis.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if I
Well,
fucked
yeah.
it up. But I
I'm
do
probably wrong,
do
too.
remember them in particular crushing a classic, but nobody
Those
doing
guys
it,
were
so.
really dope to the hills.
Oh yeah, it worked, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was, though.
Yeah. My other question for Jackson is, how about I don't know, an individual rider who is in that race who I guess he won a stage, right? Yeah. What's his name again?
Just Peter Sagan.
Yeah. What do you think of that one, Jackson? And especially showing for his form, 4th in Milan San Remo. What are you thinking? And we're not getting to the point where we're placing actual predictions yet, but what do you think about his form and how it's developing for, I don't know, Flanders this weekend?
Hell, I'll say it's a lot better than 2020 already. I think that coming off of COVID, I'm so surprised that he is where he is at the moment. And then I also think that Dan Lloyd said it today on the Racing News Show that he said that while, yes, the older generation, he would, I guess, be classified in that generation at this point.
That is so weird.
I know, but he was saying that while many people think that the older generation is starting to fade away, it shows that class is permanent, which I thought was a pretty good quote to kind of take from him. So I'm happy with how he's going, and I know we're not there yet, but Flanders, I've got my fingers crossed.
Any other guys have a Peter Sagan? You think it's over? Or you think
I think he did it smart. I mean, he didn't do all the classics. He did like a big block that he was doing a stage race. What's going to get you more in shape? I
think last year at the Tour he, kind of came away empty-handed. I think he'll be good at the Tour.
Tell me again who Ineos is putting. Who is in charge of each Grand Tour this year? It's like Jesus H.
So
he's got so many top riders.
As far as I know, I think Bernal is the Giro. Degenhardt and Gerhardt is at the Tour. I don't know where Carapaz is.
What's that, Jay?
I'm surprised that that's the two for the Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so Bernal is going to do definitely the Giro.
But will it
that's
be
why
on
he's
the
been
Tour
racing
team?
in Italy.
You think he'll be on the Tour team too?
No. No. So they had it. I think maybe Carapaz, if I remember, that was their long team.
Yeah.
But Geraint Thomas was definitely supposedly the leader.
So Richie Porte could
and
win
Richie
the Tour.
Richie Porte was
Richie Porte could win the Tour. That's all I'm saying. Just telling you, there's a chance.
If he makes it, 9 stages in?
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Beyond 9 stages.
What's Theo Gegenhardt's gig? Is he Spain? Or is he's not Giro?
That's Adam Yates, I think, is supposed to be for
So
Spain.
the guy who won the Giro last year
that makes sense,
with
though,
his dick in
doesn't
his
it?
hand.
Doesn't that make sense, though? They're going to have work for him because this is not – they don't want to go out full gas. Everything's building up to the Tour. So if you're going to do the Vuelta, right, that's the last one, you can peak early, come back down, come back up.
Is there a possibility they'll win all 3?
Yeah.
I mean, they have.
Ineos?
Yeah,
there's a gigantic possibility, I would think.
It's so tough with Pogacar right now.
Yeah. And
Roglic.
Roglic is still cruising.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, Jumbo-Visma is not something to be scoffed at. Holy shit,
Right.
those guys are. I mean, talk about depth. I mean, they've got a lot. Sepp Kuss was flying at Catalunya. I keep saying it incorrectly. He was flying. How's that going? How's that beer going down, Paul?
Yeah, I haven't been drinking enough, so I'm out of practice.
You're out of practice?
Yeah.
You didn't drink yesterday?
No, I didn't, actually.
Oh, wow.
Trying to lose some weight?
Well, I'm always trying to lose weight.
Hey, that's my gig.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Did
Hey,
lose weight.
Paul, you mentioned, and this was interesting that you talked about this on when we were on the ride the other day, and I wanted to make sure to bring it up because there's a mental shift that goes between a cycling fan, a spectator, between the classics and stage racing. Beyond the obvious, we think one-day races are going to build the sport. It's whoever's first to cross line wins. With stage racing, it becomes a completely different concept where the individual day doesn't mean necessarily as much, and you have to be more into the chess match, I guess we could say. Do you have to make a conscious effort, or is it just like, fuck, it's a stage race, I guess I'll watch it?
I like it. It's especially the smaller stage races for me. It's not the big players. It's usually when it's the people that are learning, they kind of give them a bone. You know what I mean? Type of deal. So, that's why it's not totally interesting. The guys who are trying to peak for the Grand Tours are pulling back the reins a little bit. They don't want to show their cards, whatever. That's my take on it. When you get to the classic one-day races, I mean, you don't have to save anything. Well, you you don't have to save anything for the next day because it's that day at that from the gun to the finish. In stage races, you target, you make out a big long plan, and so it's kind of like, I don't know.
You're
it depends on which
man.
I love classics because it's Smash Mouth. It is, grueling, usually bad conditions, and
Is that where that term came from?
Well, and in a lot of stage racing.
Smash Mouth.
Somebody once told me.
Stop.
The world is gonna roll me.
The it's hard to concentrate when he goes lyrical.
Yeah.
Somebody once told me. Please continue, Jeff. Don't let me
Do you like classics or
I do. I do. So I've always but I've always loved the one day because we're off the air. I don't
What are you talking about?
I don't have anything.
Did you bump your headphone?
Yeah, you probably unplugged them.
Jack, you bumped your own headphone cord.
Oh, there I am. Anyway,
Jesus.
so there's the mental, you
I'm
can
so glad I don't edit.
live to fight another day. There's another classic, or you're on that day. The tours, and it's more of like championship mentality is like, it's way more the chess match where you have to, okay, don't expend too much today because I won't. If you get dropped tomorrow, you're out. You're done. I mean, you're essentially done. If you drop from 2nd to 15th, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
The single days don't work that way. It's like you can leave everything on the course, and you see a different style of racing that you don't see in the tour.
But what I guess I'm asking is from a spectator's point of view, is from a cycling fan's point of view. I know that several of us are going to say they like one over the other, the Grand Tours versus the Classics, although I love the Grand Tours, but I would never understand why somebody would pick the Grand Tours over a Classic, because the Classic is such an epic, individual, solitary day and event. Do you... I don't even know what I'm asking. I'm just the comparison between the two and the spectator shift that has to go through that.
Don't you think, though, if you're trying to get, and we've mentioned this before, if you're trying to get somebody interested in cycling or what's this about, you're not going to show them the Tour de France. It's too complicated. How come that guy's out front? Well, he's got a half hour.
Well, he won today. Why didn't he win the Tour?
Yeah. And guys like the Gant, who purposely lose time so they won't get chased down so they can win a stage.
Yeah.
I mean, you try and explain that to someone who's like, well, that's stupid. Mm-hmm. But it is pretty obvious if you want to show bike racing in one day is the way to go. Now, I have a question amongst everybody. And I don't know if Jackson's ever done a stage race. I know it's your show. I'm sorry.
What? You're taking over the reins of my show?
But I was curious because you were talking about the difference. When you're racing, which do you prefer, one day or stage races?
To participate in?
Yes.
Okay. Jackson, the junior stage race you did, the one in...
Elma. Vance Creek.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I did that.
I don't know why I answered that, but...
In some ways, I would kind of qualify the mountain bike race series as a stage race in a way. It's obviously not varying types, but you got to stay consistent throughout, and I think it's something that I find to be more stressful than I would like a one-day just race. And I think there are also definitely tactics that go into it. You could completely go all out in a stage race and be screwed for the next day, but you can just go full on a one-day race and not have to worry about what's going to go on the next day.
How about you, Pat?
I love one-day racing, but I always did better at longer stage races because I'm a big guy and I find energy in weird places, like my ass. No, I'm serious. I always some of my better performances came at the tail end of longer stage races.
So based on performance, but what did you enjoy? I think Jackson hit, for me, doing stage races, it's stressful every day. Yeah. I mean, you don't get a rest mentally on a stage race, even if it's a 2-day, 3-stage. You go to bed thinking about it the next day. What am I going to do? Blah, blah, blah.
You wake up early.
Yeah, you wake up early, everything. One days, it's way more chill when it comes to that. And I think Actually, your son hit it. We don't need to talk to you.
See,
What do you think?
I would rather stage race. I would rather keep the mental game going, not knowing that if something happened day one, I still have a chance to recover and bring it back. So there's my answer, you fucker.
Okay.
Yeah. Jack?
I
haven't raced since the
90s. But okay, so
'08. I just want
back
to find
when
a reason
there-
to throw an
yep.
'08 in there.
For me, stage racing was, I could find two stages that were not my forte. When I'd show up to a Cascade Cycling Classic or something, in that is a mountain stage and a time trial. So let's go back to a crit. Okay, I'm there for a crit. So for me, I prefer a gas town or a something that is
Boise.
get really jacked up for that moment, and I could do one the next day. If you just give me 3 or 4 crits in a row, I'm happy.
Sonamium of crits.
I just like rarely ever time trialed well. Like, I can think of 1 month in my life where I time trialed well, and I can think of 7 months of climbing. Like, what the fuck happened? But crit, yeah. So when you ask, I mean, like, some little guys or some climbers have that same moment where, like, they did well in a crit. And they like, okay, I can do this, or they survive. So if you are in the category of pretty good time trialist and a great climber, you can survive. Scott Moninger could hang on a crit and be in the lead group and win a stage race because that's all it took was to hang on the fucking wheel.
Yeah.
For me, 8 miles later, I'm not hanging on the wheel of Scott Moninger. I just can't. And so for me, I like the one day, the one moment of 60 minutes of pain. That's way more fun. Was that long? Is this a song? Do I know the song?
You ever get that chance? That one moment.
Oh yeah.
His hands are pale. Mom spaghetti. I don't know the rest of the words, but I'm going for it.
Slim Shady, you are so sucky.
I'm blushing. I'm so stupid.
But anyway, yeah, I just don't have the mental shit for more than a day. It's that squirrel thing.
Really?
Did you notice?
I couldn't. I was going to give you shit about your time trialing earlier. It's just going, what? Did you find something shiny in the course?
Yeah.
Hey, story number 2. I'm page 2 of my 6-page script, and we're 40 minutes into the podcast. Wout van Aert claimed his first classic of the season against Wevelgem from a 7-man sprint. The Belgian was the quickest of the small group that was nevertheless made up of quality sprinters. Matteo Trentin, Giacomo Nizzolo from Quebeca Asos, and the 7 riders all been part of the group, around 20 riders that broke clear in windy conditions during the first half of the race. All worked really well together, obviously. My question is, and that was the Super Reader's Digest version of Gent Wevelgem. Anybody getting tired of the new domination yet? The new riders completely controlling everything? Jackson is shaking his head like, fuck no, this is my time.
Yeah, I think it's a fascinating time, especially with the multidiscipline guys coming over and ripping apart the rule book and showing everybody what they're about. I thought it was pretty cool, and I also think that on the race itself, I think that Wout van Aert's teammate Nathan van Hooydonk deserves an honorable mention for how well he worked for him, because that was, I think without him, I don't know how well Wout's going to do, but I think it's a cool generation coming through. I know Wout's not young, but still, he's somewhat a big road racer. He's a pretty big road racer at this point, who hasn't been doing it as long as the likes of like Sagan and Geraint Thomas. So I'm happy with it.
Guys, sick of it yet? Old
No.
farts?
No, because you look at E3 on Friday.
I was going to ask about E3 too. Yeah.
So
And
teams can trump.
The difference between E3 and Gent Wevelgem, where DeCoin at Quickstep figured their shit out on E3.
Yeah,
Get Vevelgem.
I don't want to. If we're going to touch on the E3, I'm not going to go
No,
there.
I'm trying to cram it all into one. So
Okay.
go.
So E3, I mean, somebody approached de Koenig, said, like, how are you going to stop, Vanderpool? And, I think it wasn't Tom Steele's, probably Wilford Peters says, we'll just isolate him. And this is exactly what they did. So it doesn't matter how talented you are. Wout and got a flat at 60K. His team burned themselves up to get him up into that league group. So he was isolated. And then I think he burned too many matches going on there. And the only one chasing, so de Koenig had three guys. One got popped because his disc brake wheel went flat. No, that was Lampard. Remember, and he had a terrible wheel change.
Yeah.
So Shimano didn't even have a tool to take it. I know. Anyway,
The guy's like,
this is good because the team cars are too far back,
Yeah.
So anyway, then that's when Askren, at 60K, as soon as Wild gets on, what are you going to do? He's a threat, right? He's going to be tired. What are you going to do? Send somebody up, and so he's out for up to what, 5K, 7K left, 10K? I can't remember.
Yeah.
And
is that Jay? What was that?
It was like 8, I think.
8K. Yeah. And then he sits in. He doesn't have to work. He's got his other guys. The only ones that were working was Wout and Vanderpool trying to chase down Askren. And then the last climb going up, I think is the Tirebird, but Wout attacks and he dropped himself. Yeah. And then it was just Vanderpool is by himself. He's now totally 100% isolated. There's nothing he could do. And he was just like swarmed by bees. That's good tactics. And going back to Gent Velligem with Nathan Van Hooydonk in there, he got dropped on that last climb up to Camelberg, but bridged back on. And, I mean, he did tremendous amount of work for Wout and set him up. And there was nothing but sprinters there.
Yeah.
Poor Sam Bennett was losing everything. He was just puking
Jesus,
all over the place. So,
have any of you guys ever puked during a race?
Yep.
Jack, you have?
Yeah. Well, he's also wet himself.
You have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A
couple times during marathons, like 3 times per marathon, I'll wet myself too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good to know.
You didn't know that?
No, and you're so willing to share
I've been talking to a guy in a group while peeing. Just,
peeing yourself.
Well, yeah.
No, I don't know. You just said,
we'll discuss
I'm
it.
like, no,
we'll talk about it on the ride. So,
but I don't have microphones
question?
hot during that. Okay, anyway.
What was the question?
Puke. Well,
anyway, myself. I've never shit myself.
Jackson, do you have anything to say before I start to slowly shift gears? E3 and Gent Velligem for the men.
No, I think De Koenig Quickstep played it perfectly for E3, but then got kind of caught with their tails between their legs a little bit on in the crosswinds when it came to Gent Velligem. Poor Sam Bennett.
Oh,
have you ever pushed yourself to almost feel like you're going to throw up, Pat?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I push myself to tunnel vision, where I can't, I lose my peripheral and things like that. But I've never been a puker. Vomiting has never been something about it. Usually, I associate vomiting with poor eating or something that didn't sit or over drinking.
And that's what Sam Bennett said.
Yeah.
He felt like he was getting bonked, so he crammed a bunch of food in his mouth.
Yeah.
So that's where he launched. I've never been to that point, but I've been in a crit when I was chasing down a break, and I started getting like cold chills and like goosebumps, and I'm thinking something's going wrong. Yeah. Triathletes
always seem to do that. I'll be at the finish while they're coming across the line on a microphone, and there's always some fuckhead who's just like, "Oh, I went so hard, I'm gonna puke," and he doesn't keep fucking walking. He does it right by me, the announcer, or something like that. It's like he wants
it's to show
attention.
Respect for you.
He wants the attention to show off that he
put a mic on it.
It's just like. And it's always the same looking dude. It's always the same looking guy.
Like a mullet.
They all look the same. What do you mean?
Well, let's just say there's
curly back here.
Maybe. No. It's just an asshole looking guy who always does
mustache.
it. Yeah. Mustache. Hey, I had one. Hey, speaking of Gent Wevelgem, how about the fact that we're not going to the new generation and Mariana Voss absolutely showing the fact that why isn't there a history book with her specifically given a chapter in it? This woman, holy shit, she is just dominated she makes Jeannie Longo, her career look like shit, even though Jeannie Longo doped.
Well, you look, she jumped at 300 meters, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Then I remember, it's a tailwind. That's why there was no break in the men's race that was already finished. There was like, you can't, we're doing 55, 60K an hour. You're not going to get away. Who's going to do 40, 70K an hour to get away from everybody? And Voss has got the wisdom. She's like, this is a tailwind. If I can just max out my maximum,
meters,
get a gap, no one's going to close that. You're at maximum speed. Everybody's spun out. What are you going to do? That's smarts. That's what it is.
It was impressive as shit.
Yeah.
So, I guess where we go from here is where does this set us in terms of what is going on for this upcoming week? We've got two pretty darn good races this weekend: the Dwars door Vlaanderen and Tour of Flanders. Riders that are popping into my head, and sorry, I'm gonna stick with the men first here. Wout van Aert, Michael Matthews, Greg Van Avermaet, Peter.
Say it, Jackson.
Hey, Peter. Yeah. Wout, Mathieu van der Poel, Alaphilippe, obviously not Philippe Gilbert because he's out. Casper Asgreen, Sam Bennett. I put a question mark next to that. So I guess my next question is, top shelf, Jack, is where all the real beer is.
Really?
No, over to the other side. The thing that says that. Yeah, there you go. I'm telling Jack how to get a beer while I'm doing my shelf. This is honestly what has happened to my life. So shall we pick for both races? Dwars and Tour of Flanders? And I say 4 riders total. 2 favorites, 2 outsiders.
I'm going to pull up the start list then.
So I'm this isn't really, actually, I love the fact that I'm looking at the replay on the camera for the YouTube stream, and it's got Jack looking in the refrigerator like a husband at 4 a.m. going, did we have any ham in here? But I say two leaders, 2 outside choices, and then we go from there. And I'm also opening this up to the listeners out there, and as I did with the last one, that if you get one of your riders on both podiums, so of the 4, if you get podium on both, I send you a mug. Club members get 4 picks. Non-members get 2. Sorry, that's how the picks roll.
You're playing hardball with these non-member guys.
You know what? If you want to come play with the big dogs, you got an entry fee, right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Am I acting like an asshole?
No.
Probably.
Usually.
Well, yeah, I'm cool with that. So, in other words, I don't have the start lists here in front of me. I don't have anything to hand to you guys.
Okay. I'm writing them down now like we're going to talk about it, but I guess we can't if you don't have it.
No, but I want you guys to pick right now without
For
knowing
Flanders.
who's in it. Flanders
Slap
and
those gums while I do my...
Wednesday is Dwars door Vlaanderen, which is Tour of Flanders, but not the.
Yeah, right.
It's a
Tour of
tiny
Flanders.
version kind of.
Yeah.
It's the backwards of the Tour de France. You
Yeah.
go down.
Yeah, well, I would. This is why I really wish we could have gone, Paul, because
So here's the
I would
thing.
love to
There's-
see
Are you
this
guys tickets
Flanders
still
Fields.
on hold? Like, are they just floating
Nah,
out
they're
there till you?
gone. They're gone.
So Trek was out this weekend because of COVID.
Yeah.
Are they out now?
Somebody
So
bring up
that's the
pro
thing.
cycling stats on
I've
their
got
computers.
it right here. Let's see if
I have both of them, and they are not out of either of them.
Okay.
I see both of them for Tour of Flanders and Dwars door Vlaanderen.
Do you have start lists?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Who is starting for? Who's on for Trek Segafredo?
For which one? Dwars.
Dwars
Door?
is
Dwars.
Jasper Stuyven, Mads Pedersen, De Kort, Quinn Simmons, Edward Toons.
Okay. Michael Matthews in both or one?
Michael Matthews is with that weird, ugly kit team, and Michael Matthews is not in there for Dwarfs.
But he's probably riding Flanders.
He is.
He is.
He must have two screens. I only have my phone.
So
You want me to get out mine?
here's what I'm doing. I'm going to pick my 4 riders right out of the gates. Okay. My problem is my 4 riders are all leaders. No, I'm not. I think Kasper Askren could be counted as an outsider. Don't you think? You guys?
No.
It's not one of my top 2.
He's not Richie Port.
Yes, I think so.
Jackson, you're cutting me some slack.
Yes.
I'm picking Kasper Askren. I'm picking Greg Van Avermaet because I think Greg is due. I think this is Greg's last pony
like
dance,
Greg.
and I think Greg's going to do something amazing.
And which race? Is this the
I'm picking
the backwards
both. I'm picking
Flanders?
both. Of
Oh.
them. Both races. I'm picking 4 riders for both races.
Okay.
Because Wout's not racing doors.
No.
No.
I think Michael Matthews is going to get his shit figured out. So let's just pick 4 riders. Fuck it. Just pick 4 riders.
And they cover both races.
Yeah. And I want to pick Peter Sagan because I feel for Peter Sagan. So I'm picking 4 riders. Notice Wout van Aert, Mathieu van der Poel, and Julian Alaphilippe
Are
do not
not
come
on your-
into
wow.
my picks because I just want to play the game. I'm a gambler. I got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. I know when to walk away. I know when to run.
Wasn't that the
I don't count my money when I'm sitting at the table.
the song at the end of the video that Paul was having us watch?
Actually,
Yeah, it was.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's it. I swear to God, that wasn't in my head. But anyway, so that's Pat's picks. Who wants to go next? Anybody else want to jump broad?
I will.
Jack,
Yeah.
Broadhead.
Michael Matthews, Vanderpool, Van Aert, and
Write those down, would you?
and Quinn Simmons.
Oh.
Is that bad?
Are you writing these down?
No, you're
Why not?
supposed to. You're the fucking host, dude. You're my secretary.
Write them down.
All right, fine. I got a pen.
Oh, I'm
Okay,
glad
Quinn.
I was on the camera while that one happened. Everybody saw me
Quinn.
bending down.
Yeah,
to
I saw
pick
your
up the
underwear.
mic.
Plotters crack.
Jackson Bulger, do you want to go?
Sure, I'll go next. I'm going to pick Julian Alaphilippe,
Good choice.
Wout van Aert.
Good choice. Pick
I
Vanderpool.
will also pick.
Matthew.
Let's see. I'll pick Tom Pidcock,
Oh!
and then I will pick Peter Sagan.
Okay. Paul Maine. Nothing left.
All right. This is going to cover both. All Belgian. Lampard,
Ooh!
Nason,
Ooh!
Wout,
Oh!
and then also, of course, Van Marke. I'll go until he retires.
You're going to pick Sam Van Marken
Yeah,
forever.
even though he sucked in E3.
All right. There it is. For the listeners of the podcast, if you are involved in either of our social media pages, be it the regular one on Facebook, you can place your bets there. If you are not a member, you get to pick 2. No. Yeah, you only get to pick 2 riders. If you're a member and you're on the super secret, double secret probation group, you can pick 4 riders. There we go. And I'll send a mug to people who pulled it off.
And
I got
a
to send
Chevy
one up.
Colorado.
Noah Sutherland won a mug from the last 2 races. He just got under the wire and he got his riders, and I'm sending him a
Brand new
a
BMC.
a Packfiller V Claire coffee mug. Once that's
How about give somebody for the movie reference that you just made,
which one?
the Double Secret?
Oh, everybody
Double
knows
secret
that one.
probation.
Everybody knows that one. So
Go ahead, ask Jackson.
holy
I've
fuck,
been
we're
on that a
58
lot.
minutes into the podcast.
We're way
everybody.
ahead.
Hey, you guys,
fucking way
last
ahead.
story. Nasser Bouhanni has been issued a public apology to Jake Stewart of Groupama FDJ after riding him into the barriers at Choix de la Loire race. I know I probably fucked up the name of that, but I didn't go full French. Insisting the collision was, quote, unintentional, unquote.
Okay.
Jack hasn't seen this
Nope.
collision yet.
Hey, he got crashed, didn't he get crashed?
Bouhanni?
Yeah.
Bouhanni
By his teammate?
No. Oh, yeah, that was in Milan-San Remo.
Yep.
Bouhanni deviated, and I should put deviated in quotations, from his line in Sunday sprint finish, moving left, making contact with Stewart, who touched the barriers with his shoulder but avoided crashing, but had to stop pedaling. The UCI commissaires at the race relegated Bouhanni, who crossed the line in third, but the governing body announced Monday that it has commenced further disciplinary proceedings against the Frenchman. So neither Bouhanni or his team made any public comment on Sunday, the day of the race, but a statement was issued a couple hours after the UCI's announcement. So, I guess my first question is thoughts on the incident, just the incident. I want you to take the people out of the situation, the characters, the individuals out of it. If you saw this footage, sorry, Jack.
I didn't.
See if I can pull it
I'm not a
up.
Bouhanni fan, so fuck him.
If you saw this footage, tell me what your thoughts would be about what the punishment should be before we know who was involved. Jackson, I'm going to throw you under the bus here and make you go first.
I'll give a short answer here, and I would say, based on the punishment, I would say it's like the consequences that he received were fully deserved, and the incident seemed frustrated and intentional.
Okay. So you think leave it alone?
I don't think leave it alone. I think
one-time punishment, good, let it go?
I think what the UCI did and is going to do is good. They're referring it to their disciplinary committee at the moment. So
Okay. Jack and Paul are watching. I'm going to make Paul answer while he's doing
I think, in my opinion, watching both the sprints with Groenewegen and what's his name? I know. Is that not intentional? I mean, he was completely off to the left side of his bike.
And I agree with Jackson. That was how did you put that? Like, frustrated, I suck.
Yeah.
I suck, I'm just going to ride somebody into the...
They're battling
for
off
fourth.
of Viana. Well, or Viviani's wheel is what they wanted.
Yeah.
And they were knocking each other. And apparently, what I heard, he also... Nasser said to Jake Stewart, said, you have no respect, because he's this young buck coming up through the ranks, and that's his way of saying I'm.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
I mean
But I think his movement was no worse than Groenewegen's. So I want to sit back and watch to see how the UCI. Groenewegen got 9 months.
Yeah, this is where
whether there's a damage or not, because they have those new barriers now because of that whole situation that happened last year. So. Yeah.
So how does this change when we put the personality into it? When we know, as bike racing fans, is anybody in the sound of my voice a fan of Nasser Bouhanni?
I think some of it, in his early days, I kind of liked him. He was pretty scrappy.
Yeah.
But I like Jackson said, I think he's getting frustrated. He just.
So does the fact that the guy's an asshole make it a more severe punishment?
You should never. When it comes to punishment, it shouldn't be based on personality. It should be on the action.
The move.
Yeah.
But what about our thoughts on Lance Armstrong?
Yeah, because he did dope. I think he should.
Well, because of how he handled. He handled.
But other
it with
tour
people.
riders who doped,
but they didn't handle it the way he handled it.
Okay.
He was trying. He was
he-
putting lawsuits to people that were actually
innocent.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's he is an asshole. I'm not arguing that.
Yeah.
But he also took it one step further.
Okay.
I feel as if in this situation, I don't know if it is necessarily based on personality. I think it's more based. I at least feel as though that it needs to be handled to show that riders, and we've had this conversation previously about the Super Tuck, that riders should not be conducting themselves in that way in a sprint scenario, because if you're going to do some sort of what looks like an intentional shove or a push, we all know where that can go. We learned that last year or a couple years ago, that it can't end well. So I think the UCI is once again trying to take action before something really bad happens.
Keep him in check. Wasn't Bouhanni's teammate second? Was it?
No.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it might have been just like a money thing,
block,
just
yeah.
like a block. Fuck you.
So this takes me in a somewhat fast forward way to our topic. of the show. It's funny.
Cycling?
Back in the old days, the news used to take about 15, 20 minutes. So our topic is brought to you by our friends at Mojo Cyclery, Spokane's home for gravel. Psst. They also sell road and mountain bikes as well as kick-ass professional service and repair. Be sure to check them out at mojocyclery.com and the upcoming mojocartel.com. They are, in case you guys didn't know, also the source of our newest podcast, the Mojo Diaries. All club members are going to receive a 15% discount at Mojo, so be sure to join today. Can you tell I keep plugging that one? Maybe I should just... No, I'm not going to. So here's what I want to do. I want to talk about assholes. I want to talk about assholes as our topic today. And I didn't tell you guys what the topic was going to be. They're everywhere. And even more so these days, it almost seems like
everybody's got one.
Yeah. But it seems like they're almost a badge of honor for some people. So I guess in your cycling careers, can you recall a time when you raced against or rode with or heaven forbid had an asshole as a teammate? These are rhetorical to start, okay?
A teammate.
or as a teammate. What about assholes?
Name names.
Yeah.
What is about assholes that we let them get away with their assholery? You know, where there's just you're in a public situation, somebody's completely being a douchebag and an asshole and embarrassing you and being obnoxious, yet we all seem to cower away from assholes. Is it just? And it isn't just the road. I've dealt with them on the dirt, the gravel, the track, and they're also obviously in traffic, right? So let's put ourselves into various asshole situations, okay? I love the fact that I'm saying asshole so many times. And
Asshole.
yeah,
You earned your E.
Yeah, I've earned the explicit. Yeah. And try to come up with solutions, okay? So I'm going to put you guys into various asshole situations. Okay?
Assaholic.
I'm putting you into assholes.
Stuffing me in there.
So number one, you're racing against an asshole. This person is what we call a fast asshole. There's little chance you're going to beat this person, and it kind of kills inside whenever this dick cheese wins races, right?
Who are we talking about?
I'm not saying anybody's names. How do you overcome this asshole? And I'm putting that out to the panel. This is a person you're racing against. You hate this person because they're obnoxious, they're rude, they kick dogs, anything like that. How do you compete against an asshole who is probably faster than you? That's my first scenario to place out for you guys. Paul's looking at the computer, which means he's going to make Jackson goes first.
I would personally, because I've dealt with many dicks in my life.
Assholes, Jackson.
Yeah.
Dicks are completely different thing.
But I think in this scenario, what somebody who knows that they are of a specific level wants is for you to go, damn, you beat me really well. They want that gratification. They want that build my ego type of situation.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of goes to a personal level where you train on your own to try and beat that fast asshole. And you just don't give them the attention that they want because that's what they're needing at the moment.
Okay. That's a good way to handle it. That's a very responsible way to handle it. I don't think I'm going to be that responsible. No, and I mean that as a compliment to my son. He's figuring shit out that my generation obviously didn't.
So you said this guy always wins. He's an asshole, right?
Yeah, he's a fast asshole.
So the best way to shut this guy up is make him lose. Now, if you can't do it personally,
crash him.
then you become the new asshole.
Sweep the knee.
Yeah, then you become the new asshole. And they call you Mascon after that. So Johnny Mascon. So to me, it's like it's going to be a slow process. You're going to have to figure out how to beat this person.
Okay.
To shut his hole. And so the asshole, we have to shut
his asshole.
Yeah, shut his asshole.
Yeah. Shut the hole.
So whether it's your teammates getting up, getting other teams to get in there, whatever this guy does, you make sure you got to have more than one. If he's that strong, you got to have, like a good group like the Koenig did.
Sure.
And you just dick away at the guy and just not ever let him box him in every time he's trying to make a move. Everybody chases. Everybody puts in 100% effort and make sure he never gets away. Box him in, and that's how you do it.
Okay.
Assholes do this. They created the mess.
Yeah.
Let's see him get out of that one.
Jack, you have any comments for the fast asshole
The fast
situation?
assholes. I guess it always annoyed me because people, whether it's the workplace or the, society, there's just assholes.
Sure.
I mean, some people say that, like, turn it on, turn it off. I think Cavendish, like, he is one way on the bike in a moment, and he is, some people have said, the best teammate ever, or a great guy off the bike, I mean, and there is that, and he was very successful being that guy. I guess I'm generally float towards being nice no matter what, or trying to, like, defend the defenseless, but it's dying and you're propping it up.
No, I'm cooling it down.
Oh, fuck. Anyway, so I think it's such an individual basis. Like, if somebody is racing intentionally being dirty, conniving, asshole,
yeah,
with intent, is very different than competitive nature, and I think that I guess we have to discuss who we're talking about, or any given guy. Like, if we're talking about Buhani or Lance Armstrong, but I think the crime is, it's just, God, I don't know.
Yeah,
I just kind of lose it. Like, you're one moment in a moment out of somebody's nature, or if somebody's just naturally terrible, then it seems worthy of ganging up on.
Okay.
I mean,
next situation, you're in a break with an asshole who keeps telling you what to do. You're in a breakaway. Let's say a 4-man break, and this is the asshole who keeps telling you, pull through, do this, do that, do the other thing. How do you deal with that asshole?
I don't know that I've ever been in that situation where I just feel like directed by somebody.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been in a bunch of breaks where
people are just
like
directing you.
Yeah, yeah.
Were they correct or not correct?
No, they were not correct.
But I mean,
I remember one, especially when I was younger, and the guy kept telling me what to do and stuff like that. And at one point, I was probably 15 years old. Yeah. And my dad.
You're not my dad.
No, my dad was in the same group. This was a mass start race we did in Idaho, and it was this huge thing. And he kept ordering people what to do. It's this guy who lived in Sandpoint, who I guess is some huge fucking rock star or something like that back in the days of
Sandpoint.
Yeah, and so
he wasn't national champion.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know
I've
his
crossed
name.
his horns before.
I don't know his name, but
Ken was his first name.
Yeah,
I won't do the other
I was
part.
15 years old, and I looked at the guy, and my dad was 3 wheels back, and my dad can tell the story. He might not remember anymore because he's getting up there. But I remember looking back at the guy and going, "Fuck you!"
At 15.
And then I turned to him and I said, "Fuck you." And my dad said, "That was the first time I've ever heard you say that word." And I attacked him, and I got away.
Good for you.
But anyway, how do you guys deal with an asshole who tries to tell you what to do in the middle of a race, or those assholes who you're in a race and they point that they want the wheel in front of you and they point at it and thinking you're going to get it? Jackson, I got to let you go before I start venting too much.
I think what you did, stay assertive. Don't let them try and control what you do, and then also, maybe if you're willing to kind of screw with them a little bit, you could let that in, maybe miss a turn or something.
Sure.
Could screw up the race chances, but, or, like you did, attack them and then show them that they have no right to be doing what they're doing.
Anybody else? I got multiple asshole scenarios.
I'll be real fast.
Okay.
So if what he's saying is beneficial, I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
I'm not the person who's going to be verbal unless somebody asks me.
I think I'm an asshole.
I won't say anything. If he's directed to the whole group, I just won't listen.
Really?
Until he directs it towards me, and then I'll give him my peace of mind.
Okay.
But if he's directing everybody to, and it's achieving what I want, which is to win the race, I'm going to use that to my favor.
Sure.
And I will, like Jackson says, I showed you my drool face when I put my fake I'm hurting.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, so you could do the fake hurting thing, and he's I got to sit out. You do whatever, and then screw with him later on. That's part of the game.
It's a game.
It's poker face.
Next asshole scenario, and this happens to a lot of people. And by the way, if this doesn't happen to you, you're the asshole. You have an asshole who keeps showing up for your training group rides. How do you tell or not tell this person to kindly piss off? The asshole that keeps showing up for your group rides. Oh my God, we established that every Saturday at 10 a.m. we're meeting at, whatever location, and we're going for a group ride, and this asshole keeps showing up. How do you politely tell the asshole not to show up?
You have to tell him verbally.
No, I mean, but how do you get rid of the asshole?
You drop
ride?
his ass. You get everybody in the group to agree.
Group
You
against.
just if everybody's groaning in the moment, oh God, he's here again. You just when he takes his pull, you just say, "Wait for my sign," and go like that, and you attack. Everybody attacks, and he gets dropped. I've done it. I guess I become the asshole then.
Yeah,
If he's an
Jackson, do you
asshole.
have any thoughts?
Easy. What you do is you never talk to them again, and then you immediately meet at a different coffee shop. They will know the difference, and they'll never talk to you
Yep.
again.
You're a ghost breaker upper, aren't
Yeah,
you?
yes.
You're the kind of guy who would break up with somebody by not telling them.
If they're
I've recently figured out that through Facebook, and when I realized that people in my life are not really that beneficial for me, they're gone.
You just don't even talk anymore.
Easy. Apparently, I have that skill.
that's called dropping them, and that's what I do. I just drop them.
Okay.
That's the best.
Emotionally,
Yeah.
physically.
Yeah, they're so embarrassed. They're not going to come back.
It's like
But
these
they're going to
guys.
come back next week.
These guys didn't
You
text
keep
me.
doing it until
They
you know.
just don't do it.
Yeah, they just quit coming.
It's like you guys not texting me about the ride this weekend.
Yeah, we dropped you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah. I thought you forgot that we changed the shows to Mondays.
I show up on Tuesday.
You guys, come on!
I know you're in there.
You changed the code of the door.
I brought Coors Light.
I never. bring
You're in a
Coors.
race with an asshole who is not blatantly, but definitely playing by her own rules. They are tweaking the race. They're probably breaking centerline rule violations, things like that. Do you tell on him or her? Do you shout at the asshole who's breaking the rules? Jackson's nodding. Jackson's going to tell. You would tell?
Yeah, screw that guy. If he's gonna cheat, people are gonna know. Competition is made within a rule book, and if they're going to bend the rules for their benefit, then they deserve not to earn the prize that they won, quote unquote, because they didn't win. It's at that point, it's not a real win if you aren't following the rules.
You're saying center line. What was the other incident?
Yeah, I don't know. Taking feeds at wrong times, or
I would assume there'd be if it's
or using the puppy paws position in a local race.
I assume there'd be
Super
officials.
tucking.
They should be
officials
doing all
around.
that anyway.
No officials in the car.
Well, sometimes people do cross the center line. You're bumped.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But if somebody's always advancing, going around,
Would you
They-
say something?
what I do, no, I wouldn't say anything. I just ride on the edge of the center line, won't let him in until the official sees it. That's what I do, and I've done that.
You're a passive aggressive asshole. Big deal.
Fucking passive
I'm
aggressive.
learning about
That's
this.
my wife.
Next one. You're on the same team or club as an asshole. Even worse, this asshole is the strongest or one of the strongest on your team. And that asshole secured the sponsorship for this team. How do you deal with the asshole with the money who's the strongest on your team?
So, if you play soccer, every single coach that you will meet is an asshole. Every single one. So what you do is you eventually realize that you hate your life and you quit altogether.
So, quit the sport.
This almost sounds like he's experienced it or
No,
something.
he's not speaking from personal experience.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But in all actuality, I think it's it's one of those situations where you can't really do anything. If they're paying your race entry and
If they're the
getting
strongest.
stuff, it's like kind of got to accept it.
Really? You don't jump ship?
I jump ship at the end of the year. I
Yeah.
do my term and say I'm gone.
See, this is spoken with a guy who can't afford his own kit, though.
I find another team that has a kit, and even if it looks like
The only reason why Jax is riding for Packfiller is because the assholes who's paying for his kit.
that's what he's saying.
God damn.
Yeah, I don't like you guys. I just want
Yeah.
I just want the stuff.
He's just in it for the
I'm a
free
college
shit.
student. Come on, what are you prostituting myself just so I can get this stuff?
Jack, you just look at deep thought.
Well, I think
I know you've
kinda
been in those
I've been in a
situations.
couple of situations like that
Yeah.
where you, I mean, you have your time, and so like, so I think my mentality is to like, you know, find your time. I mean, there is the guy that secured the sponsorship. He's the strongest guy on the team. He's whatever. But there's moments where you find, like, if you try hard and if you put out the effort, that either I got satisfaction from achieving something, you
Sure.
know, above that was like, okay, well, if this asshole wasn't, you know, my teammate, you know, I would have won this race or succeeded. So I think you have to move on. I think there's some people that will follow for years and years and years that guy, but then I think there's people amongst us that would not be a follower. It comes down to that. It's like, well, I would rather ride for a second-rate team that makes me feel equal than a team that is, you know, a pyramid scheme. And I'm just,
Sure.
you know, so
Okay.
go ahead, move on.
You're related to the asshole. How do you deal with? And Jackson, please be careful when you answer this.
Oh my God.
Your sponsorship is on the line.
And you might want to take some notes from other
How do
people.
you deal with the fact that you might be related to the asshole? The asshole is in your immediate family. I could say an in-law or something like that, but
Dad.
and you know, and your cycling friends together. How do you deal with an asshole who is a cycling friend and related?
Boom,
Anybody?
easy. Drop him. Never talk to him again.
There we go.
Related?
Yep.
See, one thing that is nice sometimes, especially being in adulthood, is that sometimes you don't always have to like see this such relative. I'm not talking about my parents. Get that off the table.
Not yet.
But yeah, exactly. But I think sometimes there is that lovely leeway of being able to not always have to ride with them and only ride with them at limited amounts is, I think,
Yeah.
where that would come in. Because you are related to them. You're going to have to see them at some point. So keeping them at an arm's distance, I think, would be my best strategy.
Take a job in a new town or something.
I think that's really rare
Yeah.
to be related to the asshole that's on your cycling team.
I could see.
Let's say golf. I mean, people end up playing golf with their relatives, and
Yeah.
you know, your asshole relatives
You pick a different day to golf
don't play golf.
suddenly.
Don't play golf. To me, it depends on the relationship with that relative. That's how you're going to have to. It's too complicated of a question. So, I mean, if it's somebody that, now that I'm older, let's say my grandson,
Okay.
I'm racing with my grandson, that could be feasible here.
Jesus.
Is he 13?
No, he's only 6. But I plan on doing this till I die. I ain't fucking stopping. I'll be like Kramer in the little karate class, you know, the 6th graders. Isn't he 86?
Yeah.
Yeah. I beat those guys in the sprint. They're 6 years old.
Hey, take it where you can.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, it depends on the relationship.
Yeah.
And then again, either like Jackson says, drop their ass or find another team.
Has anybody ever found themselves as the asshole? Let's pull back the curtains here a little
I'm
bit.
afraid to really
Has
think about that.
anybody ever been the asshole?
Yeah, I have.
I've been the asshole. I know I have. I don't mean like permanent long term asshole.
10
but
seconds at a time, I have been.
I've
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Heated battle.
Jackson, you've never been an asshole?
I mean, of course, I've probably been a jerk at one point in my life, obviously, but I think in a race
Has he said
scenario-
asshole once?
He has said asshole.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm such a quiet rider. I don't really say that much when I ride.
You need to do
if you're in a
crits.
race-
If you do a crit,
Yeah.
if you start doing crits, you will be vocal.
You'll start
Be
talking
the
a little
asshole.
more. Yeah.
There'll be.
Can you imagine, Jackson?
You will
Yes.
deep into that swearing
Right.
chest
All
of yours.
the
Yeah.
words, all the words. Like C-word, crit.
Jackson comes to the front of the field, just goes, "Fuck all of you!"
you
All of a
guys.
sudden, the entire field just comes to a stop.
Yeah,
It's
like Tourette's.
Did he just say fuck?
Yeah.
Or it uncorks something that we didn't realize. Jackson was like swearing like a sailor, and he just becomes the most profane asshole.
Prolific
on the planet.
crit rider.
Yeah, prolific crit rider. He makes the guy in Meat Box or whatever that team is. Go,
The meat
Butcher
team.
block.
Butcher Box. Just go.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Wow,
man.
he's got a mouth.
Pull back.
Yeah, slow down.
I'm embarrassed. I got kids somewhere. Okay, so that was the asshole discussion. I just wanted to hear about how to deal with assholes. We cannot finish any podcast without touching base on Watch This with Professor Paul. Brought to you. Wait, where's Paul? Watch This with Professor Paul. Brought to you by our friends over at Scratch Labs. I have not tried this new Scratch Labs Super Endurance Fuel yet, and I'm anxious for somebody to try it that I know because it looks really freaking good. But you guys get over to scratchlabs.com, try out all their wonderful offerings. I've been doing some research on those energy chews, and I'm finding that the other chews that I was usually using are only like 20 calories more per package, and I rely on
Nicorette?
calories. No, in a road race.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm gonna switch back to full time to the Scratch Energy Chews. So we'll see how that one goes. Scratchlabs.com. That is SKARATCH labs.com. So this week's video from Mr. Paul Main, Professor Paul Main, was how the race was won from Milan Sanremo this year, and Cosmo. What's his last
Catalano.
name? Yeah. I think I watched his videos before, but I don't think I really watched them before. And this guy's been doing this for a while, several years, correct?
Yeah.
On his
back,
own.
Back, I mean, like 2000, I think it was 10 or 11, 12 in there. I know in the 13 he was for sure,
Yeah.
but YouTube cut him off because he was using footage that he didn't have rights to. There's a bunch of legality, as you know, on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got flagged for a coffee and comment music that I paid for, that I had to prove that I paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking YouTube. Oops, I mean,
Love you too.
Yeah.
yeah, they got my
I
balls in
gotcha.
a sling.
I got you.
Yeah. But really kind of fun race analysis. His editing is really tight. He does a lot of different commentary. The guy knows his shit. He pays attention to the race. I can only imagine how much research the guy puts into his individual videos. Anybody else before we continue about the video? Jack's giving. He's not looking me in the eye
didn't
because
watch
he
it?
I
didn't
watched
watch
it. I totally watched
You
it.
did?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you like it?
I felt like when my 9-year-old grandson is watching YouTube, like the fucking some gun battle on when they watch
Twitch.
what's that, like
Video games? You're talking
yeah, they're watching commentary on video game.
Sure.
So it seemed a bit like that. There's a little bit of fun, a little bit of humor. I mean, I liked that. It was like the adult version of my 9-year-old grandson's YouTube foray.
I'm just trying to comprehend that
A 9-year-old grandson?
Adult version of a child's show. So
Yeah.
it's just like,
It's
was
like
no
Bugs
nudity.
Bunny. It's like Bugs Bunny.
okay. That didn't fucking do much. Jackson, did you have a chance to catch it?
I did, yeah.
Thoughts?
I personally am not like as like that into that part of cycling YouTube. I more look for like the other side besides like race analysis, so like the gear or like people going on these big rides, like an EF type of
Oh, really?
yeah, so like watching this was a new experience for me. I don't know if I'm like the hugest fan of it, but I also took it for what it is, and I liked what the commentator was offering. I thought that was very interesting with what they chose to cover, which I liked.
I loved his tactical analysis. The guy knew bike racing. The guy does know bike racing.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, and he's able to, because he's not, they're not giving him these individual moments of footage. He's taking specific moments from the race, putting them into the video itself, doing the highlight sections where he's circling a specific rider and showing specific moments within the race. The guy knows his shit.
That's perfect for me because it took 300 kilometers and turned it in 9 minutes. And
Yeah.
I have 9 minutes.
Yeah.
I do. I got 9 minutes, so I can. It's perfect for me.
Paul.
Well, yeah, I stumbled across this stuff like when he first started, and they were quite funny. He does it. He had one like let's play breakaway chicken, and he had the whole Price is Right thing, in these stars, and he kept doing this on this one episode, and it was anyway. I won't go in depth, but I like what he did because that's the part for me. It's cycling that people miss. Like everybody thought, well. Vanderpool during Milan San Remo, he was like boxed in or blah, blah. No, he did not position himself, and he pointed that out, several times. And even like, the spraying down of who was it, Sam Bennett's disc brake, didn't he show that? He's spraying the front. I mean, small little things up to it, but he starts looking at how people place and to pick apart like you said, I wonder how long it takes him to analyze
10 minutes of
and compress it and finding key parts and he's got the way he writes his material is very good, and he's hooked up with cycling tips, and I hope they continue on because it's a lot of fun for me.
I agree.
That's my style.
I liked it. Screw you and your
video game analysis.
I said it's perfect for me because it's like 9 minutes of
But you didn't say that the first time out. You were making fun of it. You were saying it's like, hey, it's like
all the other the YouTube video guys.
Japanimation
YouTubers,
or whatever
YouTubers?
that shit is. YouTubers. Yeah. It's like your kid's cartoon, but more adult. So everybody check that one out. I post these things on our social media pages, so be sure and check it out and tell us what you think of these videos. Paul, what's on tap for next week? You got something for us?
I do, and it's kind of based on the same lines. I like the tactical part of everything, and it's the Wolfpack version. I think it's only like 4 minutes. 5 minutes long, maybe.
Perfect for me.
Yeah. I got to keep them short.
I'll watch on the way home.
I know my audience here.
I'm going to watch it on the way home.
Driving.
Yeah. But it's about E3 and Deceuninck and how they set that up. So you have the car, the before, all that type of thing, and they interview Askren at the end of it, And because when you watch it, somebody said there's people watch races and you can see a race, and I think Cosmo Catalano actually sees the race, and to get to that point to understand, or for me to be passionate about cycling, is being able to see the race, see what the tactics are done, and these type of videos like the races won, how the race was won, and this upcoming one, maybe people will look at things differently. Hopefully,
this has nothing to necessarily. Well, it does have to do with Paul, your series of videos, but if I'm going to say it.
Uh-oh.
If Paris-Roubaix doesn't happen, Paul, if it doesn't happen,
I need a tear coming out of your eye.
Would there be a race that you would recommend to the viewers? I'm putting you on the spot here. You don't have to do it obviously until next weekend, but let's say it doesn't happen. Actually, don't tell me now.
Okay.
Tell me next week if there is a race, a version of Paris-Roubaix on YouTube that the listener should sit down on that Sunday morning and watch like it's really happening.
I already have two in mind.
You already do.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
The only scary part about that, when you said if it doesn't happen,
Yeah.
we're going to
I
be
am not.
over at Jack's place.
Yeah. Fuck.
He doesn't have a shower, so I
Yeah,
can't
shower.
curl up in
I
a
don't have a
ball
shower and I
in
don't-
fetal
Oh, I do have
position
cry.
and have a shower and cry.
Yeah.
Because I'm
I'm
a
gonna do
forever
hot water
nude.
outside.
I'm a never nude
We'll just
person.
hose you down outside with hot water, cold water if you
We
want.
we are going to Jack's for a training camp here
Yeah.
in about a week,
dead.
and it's going to be interesting. 360 milers. Or 260
I don't
miles.
know about Sunday what you guys got going on, and I don't even know when you're showing up. So
I'm leaving my place at
Hopefully
4 in the
after.
morning,
which day?
Friday.
Oh, okay. I'll have the shower done by then.
I'm leaving Jackson's
the bucket
house
set.
on Friday morning.
Okay. Are we riding Friday?
Yes.
I'm preparing to ride on Friday.
You can finish the drain,
Yeah,
and we'll go for a ride.
Yeah.
I'll get it done before. I'll have it done on Thursday.
I will be documenting the entire week. I'm spending 2 days in
Oh,
Hood River. I'm
fuck.
going to be doing a couple rides there. I'm
we
going to go
doing
see Jackson.
this?
Jackson's. I don't know what you got planned for me, dude, but I'm assume you're going to punish your old man.
torture him so that I have a chance. Somebody to ride with.
Grade.
What's that, Jay?
You'll see some 17% grades.
Perfect.
Nice. I'm in
Perfect.
deep
I love
shit.
that guy.
I am in
You raised him
horribly
right.
deep shit.
Perfect.
I will.
You
be
going to
down-
Hood River?
Yeah.
Are you going to Freem?
Yeah. I'll bring a
lucky guy.
growler.
Yeah.
I'll bring a couple
Bring the
growlers.
growlers.
Yeah.
I got the whiskey. You bring the growlers.
Jesus, we got to ride. Diva's going to be there too. We're hoping that the Diva's going to be
He
there
should
too,
bring
so
some
it's gonna
shit
be interesting.
from Bend.
Yeah,
There's
he
some
should.
good shit in Bend.
Yeah, they also have beer.
Yeah, lots of it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Don't forget Team Packfiller memberships are still available for 2021. $60 gets you $250 in rewards. There's not much more I can tell you. And it ends at the end of April. So the membership drive will close. If you are a member at the end of April, you're with us for the year. If you're not, you got to wait for the next membership drive. Swag, events, exclusive material, and an upper hand in our online show contests, apparently. So, and don't forget Coffee and Comments, which we release every week. I might have to do a Coffee and Comments from Jack's living room here in a couple weeks,
Yeah.
and you guys might have
I
to join
finished
me
the
in on
living
that.
room last week.
Oh, great. Are there drains?
Not in the living room.
Yeah.
There's a couch.
Hey, everybody, like, subscribe, tell a friend. Jackson Bolzer, thank you for being here once again from Portlandia.
Thank you very much.
Paul Main, once again, as always, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Jack, tell me next time you're coming.
God help us. I did.
Thanks to everybody. I already said like and subscribe, so I'm going to not say like and subscribe like I should say like and subscribe, because they always say
Like and subscribe.
that the youth
Utes?
respond. The youths respond when you say like and subscribe. Thanks, you guys. That's off. I got to minimize Jackson.